Hello everyone, today I will analyze a game that was sent to me by the YouTube user BossBox2nd. It was a 15-minute game which was played on the chesscube.com server. White played the knight to f3 and black replied with the most common move d5, and then white transposed into a queen's pawn opening with d4. After which black played e6, and white replied with the move e3, going into the Collie system. Black played a knight to f6, and after bishop to d3, he played knight on b to d7. After c4, he defended d5 again with c6, and then white made an inaccuracy with queen to e2. Better was to play simply knight c3. Both prepare a later e4, but knight c3 is slightly better because it also develops a minor piece to its best square. White's plan in this opening is to play e4, after which black is probably forced to take on either e4 or c4, and then white intends to exploit his space advantage. Black's plan is to take on either e4 or c4 after white has played e4, and then follow up with a central break, either e5 or c5. Black should also exchange some minor pieces to neutralize white's space advantage. White, on the other hand, should avoid exchanges to keep his advantage. A space advantage is much more important when the opponent doesn't have enough room to develop all his pieces naturally. Okay, white played queen e2, and then came b6, which is slightly too passive. It plans bishop b7 followed by c5, or d takes c4 and c5. A more active continuation would be to play bishop d6, already trying to prepare e5. Play might continue knight c3, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, castles, e5. Where black should be okay because he was able to play e5. But in the game black played b6, and then came knight to c3, and after bishop to d6, white played e4. And this is the best move in the position. White immediately threatens to play e5 and fork bishop and knight, while increasing his space advantage and opening the diagonal for his bishop on c1. Now black played d takes e4. The other option would be to play d takes c4, after which white recaptures with bishop takes c4, and now threatening e5. And if now black plays e5, then white has a tactic with knight g5, threatening knight f7. And after black naturally castles, white can play bishop takes f7 check. Because after rook takes f7, he can play queen c4, threatening to take on f7. And after black defends, he can take the rook with his knight. Black has to take with the queen. And then here's the double attack, queen takes c6, attacking both the bishop on d6 and the rook on a8. Which means that in this position black can't play e5. And if he plays b5 instead, then comes bishop to b3, and after b4 white should play the pawn fork e5. and after b takes c3, b takes c3, white has a solid advantage because he will regain his piece because of the fork on e5. So that would have happened if black would have taken on c4 here, but in the game black decided to take on e4, after which white played bishop takes e4. I don't really like this move. I would much rather play knight takes e4, because you don't want to give up the bishop that easily, and the light square bishop is a very important attacking piece for white, so you probably should hang on to that. After knight takes e4, the game might continue. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and bishop to b7, bishop to g5, queen c7, castles, castles, rook fe1, rook fe8, and rook ad1, with an approximately equal position. Okay, after bishop takes e4 by white, black played bishop b7. I think he should have considered to play knight takes e4 here, getting the bishop pair. After knight takes e4, bishop to g7, castles, castles, bishop to g5, f6, bishop h4, e5, and now rook a to d1, and black gets the queen out of the way of both the d file and the pin from the bishop on h4. And then comes d5, c takes d5, c takes d5, bishop to b7. And black has equalized because white's passed pawn will turn out to be more of a weakness than a strength.